Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to go from GC1 to GC2. I'm going to be doing an analysis over one of my friend's replays who's low GC1, and I'm going to explain common issues that prevents people from getting GC2 and up. But before I do, I want to ask you guys which rank you think I should do next. Anyways, let's get into the replay. Okay, so it started off pretty well on kickoff. Okay, so already here's an issue. So whenever you have these situations around the backboard and you see your teammate is coming back, so I'll go to free cam, you can see your teammate's already going back to net. And if you're on the backboard and this guy's high in the air, you just want to challenge it off the back, because you basically want to force this guy to either outplay you or go low. In which case he goes low, then it's your teammate's ball to go for, and if you just challenge it in the air and get it over him, then 50 it, then possibly you can get a counter attack on their half. So you don't want to give him this much time in the air, because if you look from Duden's perspective, alright, so just look how much time he has on this ball, and one thing you'll notice here is he can't even see you on the backboard because his ball cam is on, and he's looking up to the ceiling, so he can't even see whether you're challenging right now. He has to go off of the audio cue. So if you challenge right now, this is a perfect time. And unfortunately for him, he misses the open net, but that should have been a goal. Simply because, you didn't challenge on the backboard properly. Alright, so right here, whenever you have these plays, if you're going to take it out to the side, just really quickly, I would use your right stick to check where this guy's at. So use the right stick here, you can kind of tell what he's going to do, how far he is, and kind of guide, let that guide what you do next. One thing I would like to express is that sometimes things will work out when you do something wrong and you don't realize that you're doing it wrong, but there'll be certain situations where if you don't do that thing, it'll mess you up. And so this is one of those examples where it didn't necessarily lead to anything bad, but there are situations where if he doesn't use his right stick here, it could end up being really bad for them. And that's kind of similar here. So once you're already messing up this air dribble, your whole goal here is to either just get it to your teammate or just 50 this. When you drop under the ball, you just let him hit it. And unfortunately for them, like I said, they miss and it ends up working. But had this guy hit the ball, that would have been really bad. So whenever you botch your air dribbles, just remember to either 50 or try to get it to a teammate if you can. So here, right when he sees his teammate taking the ball towards him, you don't want to overextend to this mid boost, because you got to think about what can happen next. Either your teammate gets it over him and puts it in the net and scores, or this guy can dunk him and possibly go to your net. And if you're going off to this boost over here on the left side, then you're not going to be back in time, so you want to make sure you're covering the possibility of your teammate getting dunked. And had this been placed on net, because it'll happen, this would be a goal, because you're just overextended too far. Instead, let me go to free cam. Right when you hand it off, if you see your teammate taking it, kind of stay here a little bit, and then come in this way, because you don't want to go all the way out here and not be ready for the play. So another situation here, I just want you to see how he reacts to this. He clears the ball to the side. But if you did what I was talking about earlier, where he's facing, the wall and he can't really see where the other guy is, if right here he just does a quick flick with his right stick and checks where this guy's at, right here, he'll know he's not even anywhere near this ball, and now he can just control it rather than hitting it all the way over here. And you can just control the ball, play it this way if he wants, maybe go for an outplay, take up the wall, whatever he wants, but he'll have more options. Whereas here he just kind of hits it away, and then this guy has a play on the ball. Okay, so this you definitely shouldn't jump for. So after this touch right here, you see your teammate's on the wall, you do not want to jump, because your teammate is already has the height for the ball and he has the momentum towards the other corner where you can control it. Whereas if you jump here, you throw yourself at it, you get a bad touch, you mess up your teammate's now recovering improperly. So you just want to make sure you're letting your teammate go for those. Okay, so same thing here. So one thing that you want to be cautious of when you're playing in your half like this, you always want to think whether or not this other team can get a touch on the ball. If the answer is yes, then do not push up like this. Unless you can read exactly where the touch is going to go and then you can, challenge it. Most of the time you just want to stay in the net and see what's going to happen. Because you see you can go, and then now you can pressure this ball. And it'll be yours, and you possibly, score off of this because both of them are overcommitted. Whereas if you push up and then they get a touch, now it's too awkward. I'm seeing a lot of flips off of the backboard. So right here, when you get this touch, you don't want to bang this into the wall because it goes right back out to the middle, and it makes it, you know, easier for them to score. Had Ghostly not been there, there would have been a goal. So what you want to do instead, if you can jump up with this ball and then do a flip with it so that it rolls into the corner, it'll be a lot better because you stay with it, and then if you need to, you can 50, or if he doesn't go, you can just dribble it out. But you don't want to flip into this and hit it right off the wall. You want to stay with it. Nice little play, good pass off the backboard, good positioning. So one thing he's been working on is his speed flips. He's not really confident enough right now to do it in ranked, but at this level you should definitely be incorporating your speed flips. Not that you absolutely need it, but there's no reason not to. So on this play here, and I'm going to be very nitpicky because it's, you know, kind of what you need once you get to GC. Once you see this ball pop right here, you don't want to flip. Because, yeah, I think he was trying to go for the goal, but you'll see what ends up happening is it just ends up giving the ball to the other team. If you can single jump here, it'll be a lot better because then you 50 it and it stays close to your car, and then you have an open net. Whereas he flips into it, and then now this other guy has the ball. And also, do not jump for this. So one thing is, you know, if you see that the other guy can have a touch on the ball like quite a bit before you, don't want to jump and just jump right at it, because you'll end up leaving your teammate in 2v1, and that is something you really want to avoid in GC. So, you know, fake challenging here is fine and just turning out, but you don't want to jump for this. Okay. So if you check out my Road to GC series, you'll see I talked about this once in one of my videos. I believe it was episode 4. But right here, once it goes past him, instead of you know, half flipping, which I know is like a good thing, you know, half flipping is the fastest way to turn around technically, but you can actually keep your momentum here by turning into the net and then driving off, and now you just keep your momentum going this way and you can control the ball. Whereas if you just half flip here, you kill your momentum and then you turn around and you're not as fast as you could be. So one thing to keep note of here is that you don't want to have your car cam on too long whenever you're rotating out like this, because you can't really see what's going to happen next in the play, and by the time he turns his camera around, the guy's already hitting the ball. So like at this point, about right here, you should already be turning ball cam on and seeing what's happening. And now you can see, because he turns left here, whereas if you know, keep your ball cam on earlier, about right here, you can see what's happening. And then once you see that touch, you can turn in this way and even go for the ball, if, you know, with low boost, unless you see your teammate jumping in. Then, you know, then you want to slow down or just call him off if you can. But you always want to make sure you can see what's happening next. Okay, so something you do want to, you know, practice is picking up pads. So I know it's hard, but you got to learn how to like instinctively get onto this track of pads without even having to look at it with car cam. Or even if you wanted to, just do a very quick, you know, car cam and then instantly click back to ball cam and get yourself lined up. But you want to pick these up here, because that way you're getting more boost. And then once it's a shot, you have about like 30, 40 plus boost to go up and hit this. So this is another situation here. You don't want to have your car cam on if there's 50s happening. So at this point right here, turn your ball cam on, because you got to see what happens with your teammate. If he gets a good 50 into their half, then you got to rotate early and grab pads. If he doesn't get a good 50 and goes to your half, then you can stay on this lane and whatever, you know, go a little bit further back. But because you didn't have your ball cam on here, you see what happens? Bam, the play's in their half, and you end up being all the way out here, and now they have free possession of the ball. Whereas if you had turned earlier, now you can actually pressure it. So once again, he jumps in early. If you look at his teammate, you look where he's at, he's barely even crossing their half yet. So when you jump here, you're just basically leaving your teammate in a 2v1, which is really bad, like I said earlier. If you want to go here, slow down a bit and then turn around. You don't want to jump up for this. Just shadow him. And if you wanted, you know, shadow and then jump, that's fine. But you don't want to just jump full force at this. Okay, so a good rule of thumb, whenever somebody's near the sidewall and there's a guy like really close to the ball with them, it's generally best not to be this far out to the side. You know, sometimes you do want to be this far out to the side if they can give you an instant passing play or something. But when your teammate's near the sidewall and there's a person like covering them, you kind of want to stay more behind them, because if this guy 50s it and say hits the wall or something, then you can instantly just follow it up and the net's open. So just kind of stay here, and then once you see, you know, this guy can get it out to the mid, then you start making your way out more mid, and then you go for it. But you want to be able to cover more options. So this is where he's just kind of sitting here staring at the guy. Once this happens, this goes into the corner. Bam. If you want, you can just, you know, turn on car cam, just look at the boost really quickly, like I said, and then instantly go back to ball cam and get on that line of pads. Because what's going to happen is you stay on these lines of pads, and now you're doing the same thing. You can rotate out this way if you want. If you want, you can go, you know, more mid, grab these pads, but you don't want to just kind of drive just staring at them. Because if you do, then you're just going to leave yourself with 0 boost, kind of, you know, out of position. Is fine. So one thing is you need to slow down a little bit when somebody has a touch. So after this touch here, you see the ball's going to him. Now you want to start slowing down a little bit, because if you look at this guy's momentum, he's not moving very fast. If he's moving fast, then I can understand moving fast, but since his car is moving kind of slow and he has to make a touch here and he's a little awkward, you want to slow down and then see what touch he gets. If you slow here, then maybe you can pressure. If not, the guy gets there, then turn. You don't want to like already get rid of all your chances by just going fast and then turning out this way when the guy doesn't really have a good touch on the ball. So after this touch, you most definitely don't want to jump here. So if you look at this, you're already going out to this side. Almost every time, if you're like deciding to jump for this, make sure you quickly turn on car cam and check where your teammate's at. If you do a quick check, bam, you see he's right there. You know you can just leave this for him, and that way you end up not jumping for this ball and then double committing with him. You'll see, bam. And this should be a goal. I don't, you know, unfortunately for them, they didn't score. But this guy right here, this should be a goal any day. Any day. Because the net's just wide open because you end up double committing. So same thing here, what I was talking about earlier, using your right stick. You can kind of see what he's going to do. So if you just quickly here, you just turn your right stick, you can see he's mid-flip, which means that he can't instantly control the ball or anything. So you can just stay a little bit, you know, more behind this and just control it. So you stay here, control up the wall. Instead of flipping into it and then now you have to do a little recovery and then try to get to it. You already know you can't go for the ball, so you just drive it in. A little awkward. Okay, so you're sticking the play here too long now. So after this touch, bam, now you should be turning right. Don't turn left here. I know you want to, I don't know, he might have been wanting to go for the big boost, but at this point right here, you know your teammates behind you, you want to turn in this way and just rotate. Just grab pads and get behind them. Just rotate around because they have the play on the ball now. Whereas here, you know, you're almost in their way and you're driving back. And I can almost guarantee that you probably have car cam on here. Let's see, yep, you do have car cam on. And now you're not even looking at what happens. Now you turn it on, but you're already out of position now. Whereas if you, at this point right here, you turn, grab pads, and now you're like 30, 40, and then you come back in this way. And now you stay in the play. And you'll notice it's a common theme you're dealing with, is that you're going to the back corner, you're giving them a lot of space, and then you're coming all the way back, and by that point it's already too late. Alright. So make sure, okay. Be mindful of this. Fortunately, he had 100 boost. But when you have like a lot of boost and you know your teammate's coming back, you see him coming to the corner, always leave this boost for them. Because you don't want to take it and then leave your teammate starved. So just be mindful of that. So, I said earlier, when your teammate's back, you almost always want to jump for it and let them try to outplay you or just 50 it into their half. But at this point, you see your teammate's not back, be a little bit more patient on the wall here. You don't want to jump so early, because if this guy plays it around you, say he gets off the backboard and his teammates start to shoot, it's an open goal. So just stay a little bit longer, just stay, see what he does, and then control it out this way. And as you control it, it gives your teammate time. This is fine. I would do so this is a little bit of boost management, but you need to be mindful of this. After this hit here, once you jump down, don't just boost all the way down, because look, you use all 30 of your boost. Whereas if here you just jump down and then wave dash to the ground, you get that supersonic speed basically with, you know, way less boost used. Another plus is that when you jump out and wave dash, you'll be closer to the ball. So instead of boosting down here and then going out here with no boost, you jump down and land about right here and wave dash, and then you already have momentum towards this ball and you could possibly go for like a shot on the net or something. So even after that, so at this point you want to be trying to bump this guy right here. So he gets a little touch and you can stay on the ground, but just try to drive into his car. There's not really much you can do with the ball here, aside from maybe 50 into this wall, but then you're going to have to grab boost or whatever and your teammate's not really there. You want to just go for a bump on this guy, because if you bump him, it makes it a lot easier for your teammate to handle this ball. So this guy barely has any momentum again, and you'll see him just speed straight towards him. Bam. And then now he turns around again. Whereas if you notice that he has, like, you know, no momentum, you can slow it down a little bit. Go out this side a little bit more, and you still meet him at the ball around the same time, but now you have a better angle of attack rather than coming in here and then turning. And this guy doesn't have, you know, he doesn't have much of a play on the ball here. And you see now he goes around you because you did a weird awkward turn. You know, even if you didn't like go straight up to the ball, you can just slow down here, see what he does, and then now you can attack it. Rather than coming in, turning out, then trying to turn back in, and then now he's around you. Good demo. Grab that, it's nice. Now you want to speed flip towards the play here. He does a little flip, but he goes up to the side. You want to flip towards it, so you can get closer to the ball. And if the guy beats you, or he looks like he can beat you, then you can turn back around. So this play, I don't think he meant to do this, but it happens a lot. You'll see it happen a lot. You want to make sure you like catch the ball here, rather than bounce it on the catch. That way you can control it. Whereas once you get this touch, then it's, you know, you basically can't hit this. So once again, there's already an audio cue. If you hear your teammate jump right here, bam, you hear him jump, and he still ends up going. But if you're not that sure, you always want to use your right stick again. So right here, turn right. You don't want to turn here into the play because he's going to beat you. And then use your right stick. Look at your teammate, see what he can do. If this ball right here is better for him, if he uses right stick, he'd know, then you stay on the wall. You don't want to jump because then you're leaving yourself, you know, overcommitted. It's fine. So once again, it's very nitpicky, like I said, but he's on their side of the wall and both of them are near the ball. He's just slightly too far to the left. If you're just about right here, it's a little bit better because you accomplish the same thing, but instead you just cover a little bit more options. You push up, and now you're even here, and you could possibly score this. Whereas if you're out this side, you're just kind of hoping it goes this way. When this happens, now you see him just turn back in this way. Okay, definitely want to take his boost there. You don't need to commit for this, which is good. He's not jumping at it. But after this flick, instantly you want to boost to grab the boost. I'm sure you probably tried, but you want to make sure you get this every time because you want to starve this guy. And then shadow again. And you're just kind of making them play the ball towards your corner. And once they end up getting the ball about to your corner, then you just instantly grab the other boost, and now you control the ball, and they're left with, you know, basically nothing. So one thing to notice is timing on your challenges is really important. So after, bam, he drops the ball, you instantly want to go for the 50 and flip left here. So you turn in, and you flip this way, because it's out into the open space, and he's on this side of the ball more. Okay, I always, if you're gonna be this far up, just do a quick check. Use your right stick really quick, see where this guy's at. Because a lot of times people will be getting ready to challenge this, you'll see them just go aggressive, and then you won't be ready. You'll be up in their half. Whereas, you know, If you use the right stick real quick and he's still back, then you know, okay, it's fine, you can stay here. And you can even, you know, gauge what kind of play you can make next. You see what he's kind of doing, you know, look at him. Okay, so this is, once again, nitpick, but it's very important. When you're coming out to this ball, and you can even do a check again, see how far he is, but you can clearly see he's pretty far. You don't want to drive in this way. Come in this way. Because if you're coming in this way, your angles are all towards this wall. If you come in this way, your angles are more downfield. So even if you want to jump here, you know, go this way, you know, air dribble it, take it to the wall, 50 it if you wanted, or just stay on the ground, whatever. But as long as you have it towards the, you know, their half rather than towards the wall, it's a lot better. Okay, so you're rotated. At this point, you're staying too far in the middle. So you see him going off the, you know, the wall. He's gonna clearly try to air dribble to your half. Once you grab this last pad, just take a little bit of a wider angle. Because once you take a wider angle and say he gets there with the air dribble, now you have a better angle to attack it, rather than hitting it up here and then having it bounce back to their team. And see, that's another example right there where I was talking about in the beginning, where you may not get punished for it. Like here, for example, it works out, but there may be many situations where if he's not, you know, rotating towards this post and then, you know, coming in, if it gets messed up, it could really be bad for him. Because if he goes here and this guy's air dribbling, it's way harder for him to save it if he gets over him. Okay, don't rotate in this way. So you don't want to get in front of your teammate here. So once you see your teammate right here turning towards the ball, grab these pads. It's better to be 30-40 boost behind your teammate and letting him go for the ball than going for this boost and then being in his way. Normally I'd say wait, but this is fine because the guy looked like he was about to bump him, so he wanted to go up early. Just make sure you get a good 50 here if you get one. That's fine. Nice, let your teammate go and end up scoring. See, so you had good awareness here. You let your teammate go. And it actually ends up being a goal. Whereas, you know, it could have been earlier, you could have scored as well if you just let your teammate go and checked first. Okay, so you don't really need to jump into this. If you look at the bounce here, you know it's already going to bounce off the wall. So you can just drive it to where it's going to bounce and then hit it this way and grab boost if you want and control it. Rather than trying to jump and then pinch this and then recover and then grab it. It's just a lot more simpler the other way. And it goes right to the guy. Almost results in a goal as well. So another situation here where you want to check where this other guy is. So about at this point, check. See where he's at. If he's kind of far and you have time to just get around this ball, then you can control it towards the net. If he's getting pretty close, then just take it up the wall. Yeah, now you're forcing yourself to make an aerial play. Okay, so this is something he actually does fine, and this is something to note. I'll point out, you know, positive. When you have, you know, not that much boost and there's a lot of time on the ball, it's actually fine, you know, if they're not going to get challenged instantly, to just grab this little, you know, diamond of pads. You just grab these and rotate back to back post, because now you leave yourself with more boost and you're pretty much in the same circumstance. So this is actually pretty decent here. You just need to do it a little bit quicker. He turns out really wide. You just want to turn sharper here. And now he has, you know, more boost. So that's actually a good thing to do. Keep that in mind. I notice you do this a lot. You go off the post and land weird. I don't know why you do that. Another situation here though, where if the ball is being contested in their half, most of the time you don't want to push up too much. You kind of just want to linger back a little bit more in the net. Because this 50s, like I said, you don't get punished all the time. If this 50s or just hits it around your teammate here and you're up in their corner, now your net's completely open. And this guy's, you know, ready for anything. Whereas if you stay here and at 50s, then, you know, you can go up towards it. If it doesn't, if your teammate gets it towards their side, then you can start to make your way out. And look at how awkward it is too now. He's like, I don't know, and then he kind of turns around, and then, you know, whereas if he just stayed in net and faced the play, then you can just go up towards this. Okay, so that's the end of the replay. I'll do more for sure, and do more GC replays, champ replays, diamond replays, platinum replays, pretty much any replays, you know, you want me to do. I'll give you guys tips. But anyways, if you guys liked the video, if this helped you, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.